is Sayyeda Hadia, your this week's research mentor, and welcome to our research mentoring class. So, up till now, we have explored how to craft a strong background and introduction for a literature review paper, and have also covered the part about how to conduct effective research, right? So, today we will be taking a step further, and we are going to focus on one of the most important parts of your research paper, the discussion section. The discussion is where you show your critical thinking, where you interpret your results, connect them with the existing research, and explain why they matter in the first place. So, in simple words, results section tells us what you found. It directly states what our research founded. But the discussion section tells us what those findings actually mean. We explain the findings in the discussion section. So by the end of this lecture, you should know the structure of a good discussion, how to build a strong paragraph with topic, sentence, evidence, and analysis, and how to write in a way that is clear, logical, and convincing. Before going further, if we just, brief or breeze through this idea that why is discussion important? So think of the discussion as a conversation between your research and the research of others. So basically, it is your chance to explain the question, so what? Like, why are these results important? And second question of now what? Like, what can we do with this knowledge? So if the introduction is about setting the stage and results are about showing the facts, then discussion is about giving those facts a meaning, creating a connection. So, without a good discussion, your research can feel incomplete because readers are left with raw data but no interpretation. A question that everyone might get, is how many paragraphs can a discussion have? It can have as many paragraphs as you want, depending upon the results that we have and the interpretations. But you need at least three different body paragraphs in discussion that all tie into your topic. So each one should connect to a main research question, but they should focus on a slightly different angle. If I explain this to you through an example, like if your topic is about AI tools in education, so your discussion paragraphs might look like this, that there's first paragraph which will address that AI tools improve understanding of difficult concepts. And then second paragraph will address that AI tools support personalized learning at different places. And then might be a third paragraph addressing that AI tools may raise concerns about over-dependency or lack of critical thinking. So together, all these three paragraphs give a balanced and rich discussion. But remember, this is the minimum number of paragraphs that a research can have. You can have more than three as well. But always link your sources in the comment section in order to use them for citing later. That's a pro tip, a side tip, okay? Now, if we actually discuss about the structure of the discussion paragraph, so every paragraph of discussion should have three main parts: topic sentence, the evidence, and the analysis. Let's talk about the topic sentence first. Remember, there was a topic sentence and introduction as well, which was directly giving us the idea that what our research will be talking about. Same goes here. There will be a topic sentence in each paragraph, which will give us the idea that what that paragraph particularly is talking about. So it is the claim or the point you want to make in the paragraph. And it usually has sub points that guide what you will explain. Like if I give, if we take this example of dogs, the dogs are good for mental health because they promote dopamine, relieve stress, and distract people from negative thoughts. So you see, this one sentence gave us a clear direction. Now the reader knows what exactly this paragraph will cover, right? So this is for the topic sentence. Moving ahead, we have evidence. What you do in evidence is you actually bring in the researches, other researches, which actually support your claim. But remember, do not directly copy the course. Instead, read those researches and then paraphrase them and summarize them. Keep them short, 2 to 3 lines, just to explain the main idea of that research, which is actually supporting your claim. That would be enough. Like, for example, there is this that in a study conducted at UCLA, Professor Sully found that during final weeks, students who interacted with therapy dogs showed reduced stress levels. Brain scans showed increased activity in areas linked to relaxation. Now, notice how the example is paraphrased. not copied word for word, but it still gives credit to the researcher, the actual research, right? So core point is just do not copy as it is, paraphrase it and summarize it. And of course, for that you will have to read the researchers. Kind of tiring, but you are doing a research, right? Moving further, analysis part. This is the most important part. After presenting the evidence, you must explain what it means. Show how the evidence connects your claim and why it matters, right? You will be expanding beyond what is given, and then you will be drawing the conclusions using the results, the claims, and other supporting researches. For example, that this suggests that interacting with dogs, we are going with the same dog example, right? So this suggests that interacting with dogs activates the brain's stress relief system. This is significant because it shows how simple interventions can improve a student's mental health during a stressful time. Now you see, in these four lines, your analysis has been done, and it is your voice. You have added the depth, the interpretation, and the significance. The topic sentence was connected with the evidence, and then through using that evidence, you have a connection to your interpretations and you give a depth to it. So, if we are actually putting all of these three things together, the one paragraph might look like this. There is a topic sentence, which is actually your claim, what you are going to talk about in this specific paragraph. Then there is evidence, your paraphrased or summarized research which we are using to support your claim. And then there is analysis, your explanation for why it matters, what is the connection. And if you have more evidences, so you will be repeating that with more evidences plus more analysis of those evidences if required. So this is a very simple formula: topic sentence, evidence, analysis, closing thought, if there are more evidences. So this structure ensures that your discussion is not just a list of studies, but a meaningful conversation, right? But, but students or the researchers might end up making some mistakes. And there are common mistakes which I have noticed, and I would advise you guys to like avoid them, like repeating the results. Do not just restate what you already showed in the result section, right? Do not just state the results again in your discussion part. And instead, explain why those results matter. Focus and emphasis on why those results matter. Another mistake is using long quotes. Don't do that. Always paraphrase. Show that you understood the source, not just copied it. And then third mistake is having a weak analysis. Do not stop at presenting evidence. Always connect it back to your topic sentence. Many researchers or many researches, or many students have done this. I have experienced this that they just stop after giving the evidence. They make no connection. They do not establish any link of that evidence back to the topic sentence. Do not do that. Please connect, build a connection, explain to us why and how is this research supporting your claim and why it actually matters. Then another mistake, being one-sided. What do I mean by that? Good discussion considers different perspectives. For example, if your findings are positive, also mention possible limitations or other factors. Like this could be the limitations of a research, this could be the other factors as well. Always consider different perspectives. Do not have restricted boundaries to the discussion part. And lastly, a lack of flow. Having different topics and slightly different angles of for each paragraph does not mean that you will make them feel disconnected. No, each paragraph should smoothly connect to the next. So the reader feels like they are following a logical conversation. Imagine having two paragraphs, but they both are not connected. They both are not in flow. That will actually make us disinterested as well. Okay. So these are just few common mistakes. Try to avoid them, and you're good to go with the discussion part. Nothing that much hard. Coming further. Okay. as the slides mentioned that in week 6 and 7, you should be drafting and reviewing at least one discussion paragraph each week. This peer feedback is very helpful because sometimes other can see gaps in your explanation that you might miss. So do that. I will advise to go for it because sometimes we are unable to see certain things, but others might help us to grab them. Okay. And other than that, there are some simple tips to strengthen your discussion, like use transition words in your paragraphs. Transition words like however, in contrast, this suggests, they guide the reader through your thinking because you're not directly jumping from one idea to another. You are gradually and slowly transitioning. So use transition words. Always keep your research question in mind. Don't drift into unrelated topics. Keep your research question in mind that why did you specifically started with research? It will help you in your interpretations a lot. And think of the big picture. Like how does your study contribute to the field, right? To wrap up, the discussion section is your chance to shine, right? And remember the structure of topic sentence, evidence, analysis. Topic sentence, evidence, analysis. And you can add as much paragraphs as you want, keeping in mind what's your result and how much interpretation is required. Okay. And for at least three strong paragraphs, each with its own claim, but all tied to your overall research question. Okay. And avoid just repeating the results, like focus on interpretation, significance, and connection to the bigger picture. If you practice this, your discussion will not only support your research, but will also make it meaningful and impactful. And that's it from my side. So thank you and best of luck with your writing classes.